Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. You're listening to The Paradox Spiral. Today we're answering a big bang of a question. Is nuclear power worth the risk? It's extremely energy dense and can provide electricity with very low carbon emissions during operation. But it also brings responsibilities that last far beyond our lifetimes, and a history marked by serious accidents. To answer this, we need to weigh the benefits against the dangers. So, what exactly is nuclear power? Inside a nuclear reactor, fuel such as uranium-235 absorbs a neutron, which is a tiny particle found in atoms, and splits in a process called fission. This split releases more neutrons and a huge amount of heat. That heat turns water into steam, which spins a turbine connected to a generator to produce electricity. Because there's no burning or combustion, no carbon dioxide is released at the point of generation. Nuclear fuel is so energy dense that a small amount of uranium can match the energy output of mountains of coal. The World Nuclear Association often illustrates this with the image of a single fuel pellet powering a household for weeks. Countries such as France rely on nuclear power for more than 2/3 of their electricity. In contrast, nuclear energy is banned for electricity generation in Australia, although it's widely used in medicine and research. After using nuclear fuel, the most important issue is how long the waste remains radioactive. This is measured by half-life, which is the time it takes for half of a material to decay. After one half-life, half the radiation is still present. After 10 half-lives, less than 1,000th remains. Some materials decay quickly, like iodine-131, which lasts only 8 days and was a short-term risk after the Chernobyl and Fukushima accidents. Others, like iodine-129, decay so slowly that their half-life is 15.7 million years. This means nuclear waste management isn't just a short-term concern. It's a challenge that spans beyond human history. The International Atomic Energy Agency recommends storing waste in a deep geological reservoir, where it's sealed underground in stable rock with engineered barriers. Finland's Onkalo facility is the most advanced example. It's built into bedrock and is the world's first licensed site for the permanent storage of high-level reactor waste. In Australia, geologists have identified ancient rock formations in Western Australia as potential hosts for similar projects. A working example is the Sandy Ridge facility, operated by Tellus Holdings. It's Australia's first licensed geological disposal site for low-level radioactive and hazardous waste. The waste is stored beneath an air-supported dome in one of the driest and most stable regions on Earth. The site can handle up to 100,000 tons of waste annually, with plans to expand to 280,000 tons. However, Sandy Ridge is only designed for low-level waste, not the high-level material produced by nuclear reactors or submarines. Nuclear power has a dark history that must be acknowledged. In 1986, at Chernobyl in the Soviet Union, a flawed reactor design, procedural violations, and a culture of secrecy caused a steam explosion and fire that spread radioactive material across Europe. The United Nations Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation reported long-term health effects, including higher rates of thyroid cancer, especially in children. In 2011, at Fukushima Daiichi in Japan, an earthquake and tsunami disabled power systems, leading to core damage, hydrogen explosions, and contamination. The International Atomic Energy found that both technical failures and delays by the operator TEPCO in disclosing the severity of the accident undermined public trust. There are many cultural references to the fear of radiation. In The Simpsons, the character Blinky, a three-eyed fish from Springfield's reactor outflow, was meant as satire. Yet years later, a real three-eyed fish found near an Argentinian plant made headlines as if Life had copied the joke. In 2023, Western Australia experienced its own radiation scare when a tiny cesium-137 capsule, smaller than a fingernail, fell off a mining truck along a highway. It was eventually recovered, but the event showed how even small amounts of radioactive material need secure packaging and strict tracking. Radiation risk doesn't depend on size. Any exposure can be dangerous. Although nuclear power is banned in Australia, nuclear technology already plays a vital role. At Lucas Heights in Sydney, the Opal reactor, operated by ANSTO, produces around 80% of the country's nuclear medicine, including technetium-99m, which is used in daily medical scans. Australia also holds nearly 1/3 of the world's uranium reserves and is one of the top 4 uranium producers, according to Geoscience Australia. New technology, such as small modular reactors, is being developed overseas. These smaller reactors can be built in factories and transported where needed, making them quicker and cheaper to construct. Power Magazine notes that small modular reactors can also produce clean hydrogen and support desalination plants that turn seawater into drinking water. This makes them useful for countries that need both energy and fresh water. However, electricity, hydrogen, and desalination depend on building reactors locally, something Australia cannot currently do under its nuclear energy ban. The science behind nuclear power also connects to nuclear weapons. A reactor cannot explode like a bomb, but some of the same processes can be adapted to make weapons material. For example, uranium enrichment increases the share of uranium-235 in natural uranium, which is normally only 0.7%. Reactors require about 3 to 5%, while weapons-grade uranium is enriched above 90%. Plutonium is also produced inside reactors as a byproduct and can be recycled as fuel or used in weapons. This overlap is called the dual-use problem, which is why countries like Iran and North Korea face scrutiny when developing nuclear programs. In Australia, the issue is part of the AUKUS defence deal, which includes plans for nuclear-powered submarines. These submarines will not carry nuclear weapons but will run on highly enriched uranium, the same material that can be used in bombs. If not nuclear, then what? Wind and solar energy are already among the best and cheapest sources of new power in Australia. With energy storage systems like batteries, pumped hydro, and green hydrogen, they can provide steady electricity day and night. The risks are far lower when a battery fails than when a reactor fails. Energy policy isn't just about how much power we can make, it's also about how much we actually need. Every unit of energy we save reduces cost, emissions, and pressure on resources. So, is nuclear power worth the risk? Not right now. The issue isn't only about energy supply, but about consumption. Electricity is often used wastefully, as though every use is essential. This constant demand pushes us to build more, even when safer options exist. No technology can keep up with a society unwilling to limit itself. If we're serious about climate action and safety, restraint must come first. Nuclear medicine will continue to save lives, but nuclear power would leave generations burdened with waste and risk. Unless we reduce energy use, no new technology can truly save us. Electricity is a tool, not a need for survival, and our over-reliance on it drives the very problems we hope to solve. In the end, nuclear power carries too much long-term danger to meet a demand that can be reduced through restraint and renewable alternatives. Thank you for listening to the Paradox Spiral. I hope this gave you a clearer view of the risk and rewards of nuclear power. The final answer, as always, is yours to decide.